think storytelling is super important in everyday life as much as it is in business. In everyday life you might be asked to toast a friend at a birthday party or a wedding, but in work all the time we're having to talk about our opinions on subjects, make presentations or make a pitch to senior management or your very own team. And I think that this is the one moment where you can really change the way people feel about something, change the way they're thinking, the way they act, the way they behave. So if you're a leader and you can story tell, that's really about the moment where you can inspire somebody to take action based on what you said and really then see that be fulfilled. So super powerful tool in the box of any leader. I think that in reality there are a few guiding principles that tend to work, but everyone has to find their very own voice. And what's really important about storytelling is that you do make that personal connect. So you can't teach anybody to storytell in an ABC manner. They do really have to practice it and find where they think they can connect with the audience and read that audience particularly well. So whilst there is no defined rule book, I'll just give a few thoughts on what I think tends to work most of the time. Firstly, I think you have to start in a place that the audience is with you. You're in front of them, you're about to say something, so assume there's a connection. So don't worry too much about are people going to listen to you or not, because that can be a real distraction. Then I think it's really important you've prepared, but my goodness, don't over-prepare, because people can really tell. So I always find that I do a little script to start off with the points that I want to make, but then I only ever take with me the bullet points of things that I'm going to talk about. Because I will know in that room, in that moment when I'm talking to people, I'll need to weave in and out of those different points, so that the start is the start and the end is the end. How I get there I know, but I need a bit of flexibility so that I can respond to the questions or the mood in the room. I think then it's also, and I mentioned already about the personal connect, you need to be able to talk about your own experiences or why you want to make that point. So tell stories about the people that you work with, name their names, talk about your family, open up to people so that they can really see about how you've come to make that judgment or opinion. If you do that, then you can take them with you. But when you're telling personal stories, make sure that you're also in your mind set about that opinion and why you're making that judgment. You don't want people to see too much around that raw emotion, new news that you're trying to share, difficult messages you're trying to share, because you don't want them to be thinking, oh, I sympathise with you, whoever you might be. You just want them to understand where you're coming from. So be really clear on why you're making a point. There will be times where you've got to put the elephant on the table. You've got to say something that's going to shock and surprise people, wake up their attention again. But don't do it too often. You don't want to offend people in the room, because that's when you can get people to switch off. So it's about getting the right balance of saying something surprising just to keep people on the edge and to keep their attention. So quite often I would say things like, now, and I'd pause for dramatic effect. You might be thinking this, or forgive me if I make this statement. Keep them on their toes so they're waiting to hear what it is you're going to say next. I've already talked about pace and emphasising things and using a few words for dramatic effect. I always, when I give examples, just exaggerate a little bit, again just to get a bit of shock factor. I always walk around a little bit when I'm presenting, just to make sure that people are working, following me around the room, and I always make sure that I'm looking in different places all of the time. So I'm finding it difficult making this video because I'm having to look straight at the camera, but I always look around just to see people's faces and gauge whether they want to interact and whether they're listening to me, and see any emotional reaction that they give to some of the statements that I'm making. My overall tip though to people is very much about don't stick to a rule book on how you present stuff, because you need variety. And absolutely the way that you present to your friends and your family will be different to how you present at work. but don't try and be too polished. Be yourself, make it very, very personal, and I think most people will come with you on that journey. So good luck.